Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you just say Peter Parker is dead? So in this next segment, we're going to talk about the biggest news to hit the comic book world in a long time. Spoiler alert, the death of Peter Parker. So I brought in my favorite Spider-Man expert and professional hipster, Kirk. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how we feel about it.
He's fucking dead.
He's fucking dead, man. How big of a deal would you say this is?
This has actually kind of hit like death of Superman proportions.
Yeah.
As far as the media and the fan base goes.
Oh yeah.
For the fans, for the comic book shops.
I heard people were like stealing these off the shelves because they thought it was totally gonna be worth a ton of money.
Exactly. Like people are actually trying to buy up all the 700 issue, and it's just nuts.
I made the mistake of not buying the issue because I didn't care, and now I can't even get my hands on one.
I was actually sick the week it came out, and I didn't realize it's gonna be a huge deal. Oh, of course they'll save the issue for me. So I went to go pick it up again next week, and it cost me $20.
$20. I saw that even a picture of Stan Lee like putting it through the shredder.
With the issue. Yeah.
That was funny.
That was making the rounds around the internet.
So big news, Marvel's decided to cancel the title Amazing Spider-Man. They're not doing any more of those after 700, and they've decided to pick back up with Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah, basically they are ending Amazing Spider-Man, and it is one of the longest running Marvel Comics series that they have. I think they only renumbered it once, so it can split up into 2 volumes, but as far as they're concerned, all 700 issues, it's done. And they're restarting with Superior Spider-Man #1, and it really kind of shows that they are really behind the idea that Don Slott has come up with by really just starting an entire new title for it.
Good for you, Marvel. Way to go. For people who haven't been reading and you want to get all caught up, let's talk about what happened, what's been happening with Peter, like what's led up to this.
Basically, Peter Parker has always been down on his luck, always has problems trying to pay his bills, can't hold down a job, can't maintain his relationships in his life. The new writer has brought in the idea that he's actually doing really well. Got a job over at Horizon Labs, which is this giant scientific think tank, and he basically gets to come and go as he pleases and gets paid for it, and now he's got this amazing high-rise in Manhattan, and he's finally making money, and on top of that, because it fits with his Spider-Man schedule, because he's an eccentric genius, so that's when he decides to come in and come up with an idea at 5 a.m. in the morning. It's actually been a lot of fun to watch Peter getting his due as far as like what he deserves and making the money and making the relationships work out. And it's a new idea that no one's actually kind of touched on.
And he's an Avenger now too. I mean, that's pretty big.
Yeah, he's also an Avenger on like 15 teams.
It's like you're like a total super A-list now. Like you've made it.
Card-carrying Avenger.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
So things have been going really good for Peter Parker. His life is on the upswing. But then we get to the last 3 issues. We get to this. We find out that Doc Ock did the old mind switcheroo with Peter. Peter's in this old decrepit Doc Ock body that's dying. Doc Ock is in Peter's hot, sexy Spider-Man body. I mean, it's like Freaky Friday all over again.
Okay, so basically it's going like this. They did switch bodies. The big master stroke for Doc Ock was that his body was dying. He'd taken too many hits to the head over the years by guys with superpowers, and he's a guy like me with my physique and no powers getting hit all the time.
And he's old.
Super old. But basically the big master stroke is that he switches bodies with Peter Parker. And that's how he finds out Peter's identity and finds out all his secrets. And now we know that Peter gets switched into Doc Ock's dead, dying, decrepit body. And now Doc Ock gets handed on this silver platter this great job and all this power and access to the Avengers and Mary Jane's breasts. And basically it's a renewed Doc Ock and the potential for like the horrible things to happen. Holy shit.
Plus he has all of like Peter's memories, and it's like super weird because it's like affecting him and he doesn't even like realize like why he is or isn't doing stuff because these memories are like messing with him.
Yeah, he has no idea why he's actually remembering certain things and certain points in like Peter's life. And there's obviously where the big kind of twist is for this huge, giant, new idea that Marvel has brewed up.
Yeah, and I love how those memories are like affecting his actions unconsciously.
Well, he's learning with great power comes great responsibility.
Yep.
How cool is that one of Peter's greatest villains is actually going to learn that lesson?
So I know that you've been reading Spider-Man since you were like 14 years old. It's
Yeah.
like you and Peter Parker BFFs, and I know that you guys have a long history together. And like I was wondering how that makes you feel. Like how did it like piss you off or like?
In all honesty,
Yeah.
I think I have a different opinion than everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited for it.
I am too. I
think
I'm
it's
with
brave.
you. I think it's brave too.
It's a brave move on Marvel's part. It's a new, different idea.
So let's talk about Doc Ock for a minute. He's one of Spider-Man's greatest villains, and he's been there from the start.
Yeah, Doc Ock is been one of the longest running Spider-Man villains. He's definitely a part of like the Rogues Gallery. He is so kind of iconic where you see him and everyone knows who Spider-Man is. If you're like the normal person, you know who Dr. Octopus is also.
Didn't he even date Aunt May at some point?
They swapped spit at one point, yes.
That's hot.
I don't know why I remember that.
I think we should take a minute to congratulate Marvel on the gumption that they have.
Totally. Peter's dead. But the great thing is that this idea is everyone already knows about Peter Parker and Spider-Man. If you're a new reader, now you're getting a new story about Spider-Man in the next part of his history. Even if you're an older comic book fan, this should really excite you because this is a new concept that no one's ever kind of touched on. What happens if a bad guy gets the good powers?
Yeah, I love that Marvel will and does fuck with their characters.
They have no fear to right now, and I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited to watch characters start to grow up.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
for sure.
I mean, everyone knows Batman's going to beat the Joker, and his parents are dead, and he should be drinking a lot more, but he doesn't. This is really exciting. This is a new concept, and especially for new readers, I think this is a really good jumping on point because you're getting a really, really interesting, fun new part of his mythos.
Yeah, for sure. So a subplot that's going on that I'm really interested to see develop is the fact that Doc Ock is like trying to like bang Mary Jane and like she doesn't know that it's like not Peter and it's like totally weird and
They don't have this category when you're searching for porn on the internet.
no.
This is a weird, strange concept. Doc Ock, I'm pretty sure, doesn't get it on the regular. So, probably like looking at this amazingly gorgeous redhead, he's gonna try to bang her. A lot.
Yeah, he hit the jackpot. Yeah, and I think it sucks that like Peter Parker dies and like he just like I'm sure his last thought is like, oh my god, this guy is gonna bang my fucking ex-girlfriend. Like that is like the worst, like when you're dying. Like, oh, that sucks. Sucks to be Peter Parker. Superior Spider-Man, #1, Marvel Now. Let's talk about it. What did you like?
Okay, I'm actually really excited for this issue. I'm excited for the entire concept. The whole idea that Marvel is starting an entire new series based around this idea that they've come up with is dope. I'm really, really on board with it. A couple of things that I really did like about the issue. I like an arrogant Spider-Man. I like someone who is a little bit more sure of himself now. I like someone who really does believe that he's gonna get this job handled. That is awesome. I also kind of like this Peter Parker who is actively trying to get into Mary Jane's pants.
And I love that in the first issue, his first fight is against the Sinister Six, which he used to be a part of. And I love that how when he does get a beat down by that super fast guy and he gets punched like a million times, he's like, instead of Peter Parker who would stay there and fight, he's like, I'm out, I'll handle it later. I gotta regroup and figure
Yeah,
it out.
everything about that was, I'm gone. Peter Parker must have been insane to take that many hits and stick around.
Yeah, that was awesome. So Superior Spider-Man is starting off really strong, but I will say the last page really bummed me out.
Does it feel like a cop-out a little bit?
It does.
Do we tell him about it?
Yes. Spoilers.
So, Doc Ock, Peter Parker, Spider-Man is about ready to kill a dude, and there's a hardcore beatdown, and you're watching the blood splatter across the panels, and then out of nowhere, there's this, like, ghost hand, and it stops Doc Ock Peter from killing the guy, and then we pull out, and it's the fucking ghost of Peter Parker? Question mark?
Yeah, they didn't even have him out for like one issue. Like he's already shown back up again and is like, I vow to figure a way to come back, you know? It's like, come on, you can't do that. You can't kill him and have him come back.
I'm really excited for this storyline. I'm really excited for this concept. Spider-Man is a bi-monthly title, so you're getting the issues out there, and you're giving us the story. And I could have gone 12 issues without a Peter Spector. I don't know, you didn't even have to mention him. You could have just talked about him like he was dead, and you didn't have to have this, honestly, I'm sorry, but escape route.
Yeah, it felt a little like apologetic. Like we know we've already pissed a bunch of people off, so we're just like, don't worry, he's not dead.
I feel like it's a little like cover our ass. And I really would have been on the edge of my seat reading these issues. Are they gonna bring back Peter? Are they? No. Oh my God, we're 12 issues into the storyline. No Peter Parker.
Yeah, I think that would have been like far more interesting. So in the age of dark and gritty, do you think they're trying to like add a little bit of like dark and gritty to the new Superior Spider-Man mix?
Dark and gritty is selling. Dark and gritty Spider-Man, that's a good concept, but I don't know why they're doing it. If you look at the Spider-Man family of books, they have Venom, who is now the Flash Thompson, and that's a really kind of dark series. And they also have Scarlet Spider, which is Kane, who is a clone of Peter, which is an awkward conversation for a lot of fanboys.
Clone Zone.
Ugh. But Kane was a killer for hire, and now he's also learning the great power comes great responsibility. And I like that title a lot because the Scarlet Spider title is all the power, none of the responsibility. And those are your dark Spider-Man titles. And it's with these driving, flawed characters with all these power. So why they're trying to make Peter Parker and their flagship title darker and grittier is a little lost on me, because they tried this once before with the last writer, J. Michael Straczynski, and they did dark and gritty, and that's why they did a giant retcon and brought Dan Slott on. So I don't know why they've taken this avenue. I don't.
So for those of you who don't know, in the big Civil War Marvel event, Peter Parker sided with Iron Man and ended up coming out as Spider-Man, saying, you know, oh, I'm Peter Parker and I'm Spider-Man, but they ended up just like retconning the whole thing.
How about casing a nice jail cell?
All right, Kirk, I'm gonna put you in the hot seat because you're my resident Spider-Man expert. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who want to get into Spider-Man and they want to know what like the cool hot shit titles are.
There's a couple ways you can go with that. If you want good old classic Spidey stories, just go back and buy, and they sell them in really easy, simple, cheap trades. The old Steve Ditko, you know, wholesome Spider-Man stories.
You can't go wrong with Ditko.
Can't at all. Again, for me, J. Michael Straczynski, if you want something like a little bit harder, deeper, and a little bit more of a cranial read, I really liked his run, especially when John Romita Jr. hopped on. And those were some of my favorite Spider-Man issues. And again, kind of a giant bummer because all that goes away after the retcon. So those stories were really phenomenal for me. Especially currently in the Spider-Man story and Spider-Man family of comics, the Remender run of Venom cannot come any more highly recommended for me. He actually took characters that I just wasn't really that interested in and made them fun. And that's a giant, huge thing for me.
Yeah, I know that when we both saw the new, like, incarnation of Venom, we were both like, oh, fuck that. We're, like, freaking out and, like, so pissed, you know?
I thought we spit on the comic.
Just about.
It was an atrocious, disgusting, blasphemous idea about that character becoming a good guy and being a black ops agent. It was amazing. It is so fun.
We were so wrong.
We were so wrong. Phenomenal run on that series.
Read them, assholes. So I want to wrap this up by saying, Kirk, you fucking hipster with your fucking mustache, I love you. Thanks for coming on. Kirk? Expect more of this hipster. Oh, yeah. Let's take a moment to talk about the seasonal lemon shandy, Shock Top. Fantastic. Way to go, guys.
2013. No fear-based decisions and looking dandy.
I know. I was talking about on that Leap Live Lounge thing. I was like, well, at least hipsters fucking try.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they have a look. They don't look like a piece of shit. At least it's something. It's a look.
At least it's not Walmart in Alabama look.
Yeah. See, that's not a look. That's just a mess. So what's your favorite Spider-Man arc of all time? What would you recommend to someone who wants some badass Spider-Man stuff?
Of all time? I know I'm gonna get so much flack from the anti-90s people,
Do
but
it.
I really liked McFarlane when
Yeah?
he was drawing
Yeah?
Spider-Man
Like
because
McFarlane run? It's okay. It's okay.
it's okay. He was drawing Spider-Man in ways that no one had before. Like it was just a really great, awesome, lanky, acrobatic, badass Spider-Man, and Mary Jane with giant boobs.
She does have giant boobs.
She does.
It's fantastic.
I mean, that's just established. Oh,
Bring
can we
up
do
our
that really
thing.
quickly?
Yeah.
This is something really cool because
So cool.
CBG19 and I have been friends for a while, and I have Amazing Spider-Man 121, and it's the Death of Gwen Stacy.
Death of Gwen Stacy.
This
Big
was-
issue.
This was the linchpin that I needed for my comic book collection.
Yeah, it was
And then
the final piece.
CBG here, she got me it signed by Stan Lee.
Signed by Stanley, motherfuckers.
So,
Just
by
for
the
you,
way,
Kirk.
thanks.
You're